to, of course, the one and only, our CEO and our co-founder, who's joining us this morning, I believe, from the Sisel headquarters in Utah. And he is going to share with us his vision for the future. So thank you ever so much for joining us, Tom. And I hand the word over to you.
Ellie, thank you. It's great to be here, or there in the evening, here in the morning. But it's always a wonderful day when we're talking about Sizzle because there is so much opportunity. And first, I want to say we're so excited about having Ellie there because she brings something to the table that we've been missing, and that is a focus on customers and retention, social media, so much more that we really haven't been focused on. This is going to be an incredible year, probably the biggest year for change that we have had in over a decade. And so there's a lot of exciting things to help you become successful in your business. We have the products, we have the foundation. We'll go through a little bit about that, and then we'll talk a little bit about the future. And so it starts with great leaders, and we have great leaders. I look at the people on here, and many of them were friends also. And and I've seen many of you for the last couple of decades and watched your success. And it really warms my heart to see you here. And if Dad were here, he'd be thrilled to death also. And a mission he and I started really almost 40 years ago. And so it really started many, many years ago, making products for ourselves and our family. And here's you can see one thing on the right. We have a Tom, and a Tom. We are not creative when it comes to family member names, but we're extremely creative when it comes to science and doing things that are not on the market. And so, I mean, when this picture was taken, now we're getting closer to 40 years that we started this mission. We were the innovators. We started this, and we started it because we wanted better products for our family. Well, what happens when you have a dynamic message? You can't keep it to yourself. People want to be part of that. And that's something that has slowed our growth in some regions, or people kind of keep it to themselves. They like the products. They like what it brings. They won't step out of their shell. Ellie's going to bring that, and we're going to support that, and we're going to make you become greater than you are now. We just need you to believe in that. We need you to be part of the program because the foundation with Sizzle is unlike any other. We were the innovators in removing harmful ingredients. We were the innovators in moving into energy and longevity, two of the real cornerstones of the business. And boy, my father, he was on a hunt for anything that was dynamic for longevity and the things that support dynamic health. And so, over 40 years ago, we became very determined to do things different. And what we found are pretty soon we're giving products away, and people want to be part of this. And we realized quickly that these products that we were doing, or we were making and we were consuming, didn't do well on a store shelf. That it wasn't that. People were looking for more than fancy packaging. They were looking more than for just a dollar cheaper shampoo. They wanted something that actually provided a benefit. And a big part of this was industry had not changed for over 100 years in the ingredients that it used in something as simple as a hair shampoo or a lotion. But the science was there, but the market hadn't changed. We knew that it was high in secondary amines that help promote cancer, and sodium lauryl sulfate that helps to drive harmful ingredients into our scalp and our bodies, and in toothpaste, ulcers and cankers and mouths took an extra week to heal. We removed these from what we were doing, and we became a product of the product. That alone is a major piece of you sharing the Sisel mission. I mean, Ellie talks about the products that she takes. Well, first thing this morning, I took at least a dozen at home, and all the capsules, and brain vitality, and super omega, and calcium, and encompass, and everything more. Well, when I get here to work, I have Sizzle Rip, Glucominish, pre and probiotics, and enzymes, and I go through this every single day too. What's the result? Every single day, someone comes to me and says, Tom, you have lost over 40 kilos. And I'll say, yeah, I have, about 2 years ago. I'm a product of the products. This works. And they're all grounded in science. Does it mean I have to do some lifestyle change? Absolutely. I have to eat earlier. I can't eat late. I have to watch some carbs and things like this. But I can restore my health. That's the beauty of the human body. We have the ability that our bodies will regenerate if we give them the components that it needs. We know that hormone levels fall off. We know that we're under assault from antioxidants. We know that we can rebuild. We know nitric oxide goes down. Sizzle Sport. We have all these wonderful ingredients to help bring those youthful levels for regeneration back to the forefront, and our bodies will respond accordingly. My diet had changed considerably from when I was a kid on the farm, raising fruits and vegetables and all of our own meats and eggs and everything, to where I'm on the airline and I'm in the airport and I'm in restaurants and meetings, and my body's saying, well, it's 3 a.m. back home, but it's 9 o'clock in the morning here. We better have breakfast, and so I started to change my health, and I thought I've got to get that back a couple years ago. The products that I design and manufacture are products that I want to use. I'm not a Procter and Gamble, a Johnson and Johnson. Just what would the market like? What would I like? What would my family like? So with the Mower mission, we realized that we had to find a way to get the message out about the products. So many times it was not about what was in the product, it was about what's not in the product. And so the acronym Sisel was developed 20 years ago. And as Ellie talked about, at first, the Mower mission resided in New Ways. Well, before that, many people don't know, we had a little company called Images, but we didn't trademark the name. And so we had to change it to New Ways. And so one thing about it, the Mower mission always stays, and it's always driven by the same factors. The acronym for Sisel really stands for some very key cornerstones of really any successful business, the one that has been a guiding light to us for coming up on 4 decades. And that is, first, a very extreme focus and keen eye on science. We realized way before the internet, even before a fax machine, that dynamic discoveries were being made around the world. And so we developed a network. We started getting all kinds of trade magazines, and I did a lot of research at the library. And I remember when I was going to the university and received my degrees in biology and chemistry, I spent an enormous amount of time in the library researching harmful ingredients and new breakthroughs, because industry was slow to change. If this shampoo sold well, guess what? We're going to keep it. But there might be a great study out here that showed there was a better way to do it. But then getting the ingredients to produce that innovative product were not available. So we realized that we had to be innovative. We needed many times to create the relationships and create manufacturing to make the products that science was saying were vastly superior to anything you could buy on the store shelf. And so that launched something that became quite novel in our industry, and that is the fact we needed to do our own research and we needed to do our own manufacturing. So many people say that they, in this industry, that they need to, or that they manufacture. No, reality is 95% of them do not. And I think Ellie, that was one of the things that blew her away when she came to America, was the fact that, holy cow, nobody knows about this manufacture, facility you have. You roast coffee, you encapsulate, you do CBD oil, you do shampoos, lotions, beverage filling. It's kind of like Santa's workshop. If I can dream it, I can research it. I need the ability to develop it. And it could be something as unique as coffee. 95% are fire roasted. I don't want that. I want infrared roasting to lower the acrylamides in it to make it the world's healthiest coffee. And then I want to add ingredients like chaga and gotu kola and bacopa and everything else to make it even healthier. And so I need that ability, and that's why we maintain 300,000 square feet of manufacturing so that we can bring that to market. Now, what motivates people the most? And that's success. And when I say success, we're talking about compensation, we're talking about health. One component that I'll say, I hate to admit this, that Ellie's going to be instrumental in helping us, is people's personal development. Seeing success through social media, seeing success online. And because there's nothing more rewarding to see somebody who was, maybe a 1-star for 3 or 4 years, and all of a sudden in 1 year they become a 4-star. They're like, the light bulb came on. I get it, That ability is in every single person. And fortunately for me, I had the world's greatest mentor that helped me realize that I can accomplish anything. And that was my father, Tom Sr. And I was very blessed as a child that he pushed me, encouraged me, sometimes on maybe the toe of his boot, but he would push me to become more than I thought I was. Well, guess what? I'm putting you on the toe of my boot. I'm going to tell you, you can become anything you want, guaranteed. If you can dream it, you can focus it. It's not about the money. It's about your focus. And it's about your ability to lead. That's a big key component of why I'm so excited Ellie has become part of our team, because Ellie is a natural leader. Ellie brings to the table some of the finer things that we've been missing. We have the foundation for a 200-story building that, would withstand a tsunami, an earthquake, whatever could happen. But we don't toot our own horn. The statistics that she gave you, that people for 3 months are placing more than one order, over 200 euros per order. Nobody in the industry has that. That's a testimony to the power of the products and the compensation plan and the power of the mission that we're on. And so we're so excited as this next year transpires and we go through it, to bring tools, just like I hadn't seen the one that Ellie had there, that 6-point step on how to build and how to acquire customers and some of the things that you need to do. Here's the hardest part. Here in the West, we're in cowboy country. We have the saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. There's no way I can take my horse up to a water trough and force him to drink. Now, that's kind of where we're at with so many people in Sisel, thousands of people who have not switched in their mind that they have the ability to drink and to share. And so we're going to do more in that area to help build you, because one of the successes that I want to see for you is personal development. The greatest fear we have is talking. Early on in the industry, we always talked about, the 100-pound telephone, and people, I don't dare pick it up and say, hello, my name is Tom and I want to talk to you about an opportunity, and it terrified people. And getting on stage, once you realize that no is just another word, whatever, it means the opportunity is not right for them now, because the Sisel message is right for everybody. Who in the world does not want better health? Who in the world doesn't want to generate a income that has no ceiling, that just really is about them sharing a message? The power that you have behind you, let me explain it real quick. If I wanted to go up on Main Street and open a store, I would go to the bank. I would get a mortgage on a building, or I would sign a lease and make a commitment to spend a few $1,000s. I would try and get a loan, maybe buy $100,000 or $200,000 worth of inventory, hoping people would come to my store and buy it. I would hire employees, and I would try and get them motivated and trained so when someone came through the front door, they could move our inventory. I would have to generate an average living wage, I would be committing to hundreds of thousands of dollars. And guess what? On the weekends and on the nights, I'm the one who has to clean up and worry about all the issues. What you have behind you is $1 billion in inventory and warehousing and expertise. That's your business. You place the order, I ship it. We run payroll, commissions go out. You don't invest in any of that. All you have to, it's the easiest business to get into. And unlike up on the store, that I might have, maybe I would make 75 or 100,000 US dollars a year. Holy cow. We have people here in America that are making double that every month. And they maintain no inventories. They have no employees. Their time is their own. But unlike what many people will tell you in the industry, get into network marketing, because guess what? You can work from home and you just find that one person. No, it is a job. It is a job in the fact you'll get out of it what you put into it. But the nice part about it is you don't have to put anything more into it than your focus. Try the products, get the experience, get the testimony, and share that. People want to be part of that. Now, I could go on about success forever. I'm going to jump to energy and longevity. My father was extremely focused on longevity, and I was really focused on energy. And because of the two, we realized you got to have the motivation to get out of bed in the morning. You got to have the energy to do what you want to do in life, in fun and in work and families and everything. So we have spent decades investigating the theories and the science, both theoretical and actual, to bring products to the market that are 5 to 10 years ahead of what is on the retail shelf. And so that obviously are the last two letters in Sisel. They stand for energy and longevity. So science, innovation, success, energy, and longevity. How do we get that message out? There is not a more perfect vehicle than network marketing, social media. And I'll admit it, we're lacking in social media, and we're lacking in a lot of the tools that are needed. And we're getting into that because we have the foundation for that 200-story building. We're building it and we're committed. And that's why we're bringing dynamic people like Ellie and so many more on board who know how to do that. And one thing I guess you can say for me, I appreciate it. I understand it. I may not be great at social media. In fact, I'm horrible at it. But, Ellie says she started 23 years ago at the Mower Mission. She must have been 8 years old when I hired her. But, she's definitely a testimony of the products. So here's 5 fundamental principles that I always like to bring up when we talk about this strong foundation. Experience management, but it doesn't mean the management just gets older, so we say they have more experience. we bring on new people with new ideas. I think about the days when I was doing research at the university, and they had what they called the Dewey Decimal System, and I would go look up ingredients and science and things, and then I'd have to go find a catalog somewhere or make a request to have it sent. Now it's so much different. Here we are. I'm in Utah. Many of you guys are, in Canada and around the world and Germany and so many more places. Technology has really moved forward, but so has the speed of information. So we're bringing more and more people on all the time to help us. So we have the benefit is we have the experience of the Mower mission, and that really is a very promising future. If we look to the middle column there, promising and secure future. Early on, my father, after New Ways, we had moved on. What do you want to do? I said, well, what do we enjoy doing? He said, making great products, doing research, and bringing those to the market. So we set up a Dynasty Trust. We set up a Dynasty Trust because one of the biggest obstacles you have when you decide to find a network marketing company is it the right one? I mean, there's so many opportunities out there. Does one pay more? Is one a private equity? What's their long-term goal? Are they going to try and build it for 5 years and sell it? Well, to get over that, we set up a Dynasty Trust. This goes on multiple generations. So I'm going to congratulate everybody on this call for one thing right now. You found the diamond in the rough, meaning that there are so many opportunities out there and you'll have to investigate this if you have questions. You will not find a more generous compensation plan in the market that pays you and rewards you for so many different things. If you're creating a downline, if you're getting preferred customers, if you're building more volume, and it doesn't, it's not a force matrix, it's not a binary, all these little fad things that happen. No, it allows you to build wider, build deeper, get compensated in so many different ways depending on your personality and how you like to build business. And so we have the most generous compensation. We have safe and effective products, and that is the Sisel Safe Promise. I coined that phrase 20 years ago. We are constantly, and every single week, we have a research and development meeting. There's about a dozen of us, and we go through the latest science. We have dozens of products for the next few years that we work on. But also, we innovate what we also have, because one of the biggest issues that we have is that we love is science is always progressing and it's so far ahead of what's on the market. We want to change and modify existing products if we can make them better. We have a couple right now in the US that we've done that after about 10 or 15 years. Now, world-class manufacturing, we talked about that. We are really a rarity in the industry that we maintain that. So what is the future of Sisel? Well, like Dad used to tell me when I'd say, we've got to set up a budget. And I said, and it starts with the sales forecast. And he'd say, I don't know how high is, because we can do whatever we want to do. That's the position you have to take with your own life. But not just say it, you have to feel it. I feel it and I know it. And because of that, it's going to happen. Here's a few things that are going to be coming. We're going to have a big global convention in 2027. My biggest focus right now, the U.S. is bigger than the U.S. was at New Ways. And we were about $1 billion company in total revenue. We're double what we were at New Ways in the U.S. My focus is on Europe, Japan, Australia. That's where the big opportunity lies. And that's why we're going to be doing so many things. And Ellie knows many of the things that we're doing. In fact, she's directing a lot of that. Now, here's the hard part for me, because I think we're doing everything wonderful. we're going to engage with outside resources to look at us. And, you have to be confident that you can take criticism. And so we're actually engaging other people. And Ellie's really been at the forefront of this to take a look at us and to bring that concept to reality, because we know we need to get more involved with social media and we need to do a few things more for customers. And those are they're well under the way. And so you're going to see a lot of new sales and marketing opportunities. Network marketing is the most incredible opportunity out there in the world. It takes virtually nothing except for your mouth and your mind and your focus to generate whatever you want. New people, new products, new programs. If anything, a lot of times I bring out too many products. But in researching and I'm going to slow down a little bit on that, but here's a few of the things that we've brought out. But there's so many exciting things. And, as a scientist, boy, I see the power of colostrum. And, and I'm the only one that has standardized IgG 40% because that's what builds the immune system. And that helps increase our longevity and our overall health. And, the Sisel lights that you're going to be seeing or you have right now. And it's about electrolytes and getting communication in the cells and in our nerves. And there's so many more things out there. But what I think as a business builder, you're going to find really exciting in the next few months are the new programs, because that is going to open basically a new franchise for you in your ability to attract and disseminate information. But here's the thing. It comes down to the type of leader that you are. It comes down to the type of leader that you are. Now, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years or in the next 10 years? And, we're coming to the end of the year where we set goals. We're coming to the end of the year when we think about where do we want to be. But you're really, we hear write it down. If we only think it, it's only a wish. There's a lot of reality to that because commitment really takes effort. And that means changing who and what and where and how we do things. We have everything there. We've led the horse to the water. It's thirsty. But the horse has to make up its mind that it wants a change. It wants to drink from that. There is no other opportunity out there. Biggest question that people ask when they join this a company, who's going to help me? I was blessed with Tom Sr. as my father. He was my mentor. I'm trying to help you by having Ellie help you, which she's going to be a great mentor. But think with your downline. They're going to look to you. Are you going to be on a call? Are you going to share your testimony, how you lost 40 kilos over 2 years with pre and probiotics? Those things make a huge difference. My success, your success are tied together. And I know that. And so I only want one thing. I want you to be as wildly successful as you can. Right now, I'm investigating science for the last few years in men's health and testosterone building and libido and prostate health. I mean, I have files and I drive my sons crazy with all the things, but it takes years to bring a lot of these things out. One thing I'm going to ask you today, because I see on this, we have leaders, and boy, that's everything, because, an army without a leader just is like water flowing wherever it wants. You need direction. Make that commitment. Make a list of who you're mentoring, but then more importantly, make a list of what you can do to help them, because just like a father and a mother know the strengths and the weaknesses of their kids, you know what it is too. You'll have some stars in social media, and we're going to give you things to help support that. You're going to have people who are incredible with products. Well, guess what? When you get the two of them together, you're the leader and you're going to have them talk about products and you're going to have them teach the other how to put it on social media. Guess what happens? It's not 1 plus 1 is 2. It's 1 plus 1 is an explosion. And like Tom Sr. would say, how high is high? I don't know. Our potential is incredible. There's no lid on it. Your potential is the same. What one person can do, another can do. I have seen people with the greatest aptitude to become whatever they want be a complete failure. And I have seen someone who's never had a job outside the home, they've had the hardest job possible, a mother, become extremely wealthy and change the lives of thousands of people. That's the beauty of it. We all have that within us. We all succeed when we do our part. I'm going to give you my commitment. I'm going to do my part. I'm going to make products. I'm going to pay compensation. I'm going to stay debt free. I'm going to keep manufacturing. I'm going to keep researching. But here's the biggest benefit for you down the road. I'm mentoring my boys, the third generation, to do the same. And I'll tell you what, they're ahead of me where I was at their age. Because guess what? They're into more of the modern and social media and how to contact, with people of different demographics. So guess what? They're going to be even a bigger advantage to you, but yet they have a keen eye to the science. So I'm so thrilled to be on the call today and share a few of my thoughts. The futures never look brighter. Everything is possible. How high is high? Woof! As high as we want to make it. But it takes a commitment from you and you being a strong leader. That's why I'm so excited. We got great leaders on the call today. Light that fire, but more importantly, share that fire because then it becomes a wildfire and everybody benefits. Thank you so much for letting me be on the call. Ellie, this is wonderful. Keep up the great work. Keep sharing the mission.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, sorry, everyone's on mute, but that was, yeah, next level. Really appreciate you joining us this morning, Tom. And yeah, I think, like you said, we've got super exciting time ahead of us, and you've really cast a big vision for everybody on the call today. So now we can get down to learning the skills to put in place to follow you as we take the business to the next level, and look forward to our global convention that you said in 2027, 20 years Sisel celebration.
Well, I plan on everybody being there. And so we have a place for you. And so when the opportunity to sign up is there, come be part of it. Because one thing we find is when we get together, we share energy. It's kind of like a magnet, we share that. And I have never found a leader who works by themselves and independent from the company and others is successful. But I have seen thousands of leaders when they come to meetings like this today. We're gonna go find a Christmas tree and take a bunch of excited kids out on the mountain.